Alrighty, sorry about that. Set everything up well in advance, of course, and then got distracted by watching something. So, 2 minutes late. Apologize. As we listen to see if we have audio. I say as we listen to see if we have audio. And we do, and that's good. Audio volume. Let's get going, shall we? I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. You're watching this on youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. And if you scroll past the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlists, you'll see Ramsey Show After Show, 558 of those. And answering your financial questions. That playlist today is the 144th show of that. Alrighty. The music playlist has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. What's one that I don't do a lot on here? Oh, the Baby Steppin' song. That's To Levitating by Dua Lipa. And, you know, step one, very easy. Step one, step two, step three, step four, step five, step six, step seven. We're baby stepping. Thousand fund, pay off debt, full fund, invest, kid college, pay off house, build wealth. We're baby stepping. Dun, 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 dun. And so that's a fun song. A lot of fast singing in that, and so that's good. A lot of words. Not singing, as you just heard, not my regular job, So do be aware of that when you check them out. But if you're so inclined, please check them out. You might enjoy it. And then you'll be like a lot of people have told me that when they hear the original songs, they think of my words. So that's very, very nice. Let's see. Boring low. 24, no debt, and I have £1 million. I assume I made the joke yesterday or the day before. I don't know. They're all running together now. So busy these days. If you got £1 million, probably time to go on a diet, but probably mean British pounds, love. But the debt-free here, no debt, 24, 1 million. I'd say you're in a pretty good place, at least to start. Let's see what's going on here. Hi, everyone. Hi, guys. I want your help. Long story short, you probably meant the I. The U and the I are right next to each other on the keyboard. Am a millionaire because of an accident at work. Okay. And there was another, just like less than 10 questions ago, where somebody, because of an accident, was a Richie. I currently rent a house with my girlfriend. That's a no. You're doing it wrong. You don't combine finances or live together until you are married. That is better for your financial life. Let's see, and this is our only expense. We live in the Northeast. If you got £1 million, why wouldn't you buy a house? Don't want to? Might move soon? Let's see. We live in the Northeast of England. Bloody England. I knew it was. And both work full time. What would you guys do with the money? P.S. We have been together since before the accident, 5.5 plus years, and she has a 90K in student loan debt, which in England is a gray area. Weather spelled wrong. This is weather like the temperature and whether it's raining or not. But weather right here should have been WHETHER. She needs to pay it or not. Please help with your opinions. Okay, so I've talked about this before on here quite often. The fact that you can run out the clock on student loan repayment there, because if you make payments on it for 30 years, they forgive it if you make the minimum payment on there. But they are not going to do that. Excuse me. The Ramsey advice is to not do that. You took out the loans. You should pay them back, especially if you have all that money. If she has, it depends on how much she has, but you would not pay off any of that. Again, should not even be living together or combining, doing any financial stuff together until you are married. One brief moment. Alrighty. So, but that, like I said, in England, that the Ramsey advice is for people to pay it off. Now, most won't because they think, oh, that's free money. Free money from the government. Kinda. You pay for it in other ways, of course, as always, when you get free stuff from the government. So it's not a gray area, of course. In America, a lot of people spell it Grey now for some reason, but it's Gray. But no, it's not a gray area as to whether she needs to pay it or not. It depends on whether you want to follow the Ramsey advice or not. If you just want the opinions of people on the subreddit, got 33 responses there. I would say probably half and half. And maybe some, you got maybe 10 out of that made mention of the living with girlfriend and doing anything financial together before marriage, and that is not advised either. So you do whatever you want to do, sir. But if you get married, then that $90K in student debt would become yours, and then you would pay it off with that 1 million bloody pounds, bloody quid. Brain floss. Need some, it sounds like. I do. 1688. Looking at disability insurance. Why is it so much cheaper to get 2 policies instead of 1? I have no idea about that. Dave's program sent me to Xander Insurance. Yep, they've been a sponsor of his for probably close to 30 years. I've quoted out several different options to compare prices. This is an interesting anomaly I found. Obviously, the quoted price are specific to me, but I hope you can see my confusion. Plan 1, monthly benefit, $13.50, benefit period to age 65, elimination period 30 days quoted. Monthly rate, $113. Plan 2, monthly benefit, $13.50, benefit period. Okay, that's the same. 1 year elimination period. 30 days quoted, monthly rate, $43.75. So if you wait 1 year, before you get the benefits, I'm assuming, before you don't qualify for benefits for 1 year, then it's cheaper. Plan 3, $13.50, benefit period to age 65, elimination period, 365 days quoted, monthly rate, $32.01. Plans 2 and 3, monthly total, 75.76 different than plan 1, 38.02. Why is it cheaper to get 2 policies? Well, you probably cannot buy 2 different policies at the same time. I don't know if you can double up on disability insurance. You may be able to, but I don't know. But again, interesting, but I don't know anything about the insurance game except for general stuff. Definitely not for disability insurance. Negative monitor, 560. I can read 560 is what that is. How much? I need more sleep. How much is enough in a 529? I know it's hard to answer, but I'm wondering what others had saved. My daughter just finished her freshman year at a private Catholic high school, and I have a 529 with 117 in it. Should I be adding more than the 200 I'm adding to it monthly? Well, that depends on your budget. If you can't add any more to it, then don't. But also what you can do is track that out and see what the 200 will have it end up being. You add that in with the 200, and then you put in the investment portion of it as to how much it's making per year. Excuse me. And you see if that's the amount of money you want to have saved up for her when she turns 17 or 18. whatever age she'll be when she starts college. So the alternative to that would be, because that would be one way to look at it. Alternative to that is you can figure out the amount that you want to have saved for her when she turns 17 or 18, the time that she would be going to college, and you would need to be paying for the first semester. Then you can backtrack until the number of, divided by that by the number of months that you have before she will turn the 17 or 18, when she's going into college. And also you factor in the investment portion of that as well. So that's how you figure that out. It's not really hard to answer. It's and it's not going to be the same for everybody, because everybody's not going to want the same amount. And she's a private Catholic school now. If you think you're going to pay for a private college, then you're going to be paying a lot more for it. And so generally the Ramsey advice is that a state college is good enough for anybody, even your baby. Even if they're blessed with the opportunity to get into a prestigious school, a lot of times it's a waste of money to pay more. Brain floss again, 1685. Oh, disability insurance person. So another question about that. Didn't combine them. Two different questions. $1,000 emergency fund, and that is correct. You have read baby step 1 correctly. Good job. Disability insurance, or start tracking my money. All three. What is the single right way to move forward? You would be doing all three. Getting insurances in place would be part of baby step 0. Now, whether you need disability or not, I don't know. Are you in a job where you could get dismembered by a machine or something like that? Or do you work in a place where the worst thing that can happen is you might trip and fall down? So, and off the top of my head, I don't know what Dave, I don't think Dave says everybody make sure you have disability insurance. I don't know that he says that. If I remember, I will look that up and have that to say on tomorrow morning's after show. After the Ramsey show airs at 9 o'clock and is over at 11:07. And that's when I'll start the after show tomorrow. Yep, more streaming and less sleep. Probably not a great idea, but I'm doing it anyway. Or start tracking your money. You do that. You need to do that. You should have already been doing that. And how you got into whatever issue you're in that brought you to Dave Ramsey, that's why, because you didn't do that. Everybody always needs to have a budget. Even if you're making multi-million dollars per year, that's even more important to have a budget, because the more money you have, the more can just get spent willy-nilly and you don't know where it went. And so that's just a waste. The single right way to move forward. Let's see. There's so many parts to Dave's system that it's not clear as it's supposed to be. False. I don't know why you can't understand it. It's very, very simple. If I'm saving up $1,000, how do I make sure not to spend it on anything if I'm not accurately tracking my money? Well, no. Budget is part of baby step 0. And granted, that is not on the list. And so, yeah, you have to dive in a little bit. But if you go to the website, this website, RamseySolutions.com, if you go to there, every single question, look, it says, what are you looking for? If you put that in there, where if you put insurances or disability insurance, or tracking your money or budgeting, it'll tell you that you need to be budgeting immediately. That's part of baby step 0, even before you start to save up to $1,000. So you, sir, are just making it harder on yourself. And if you have a problem, understanding that, I understand you might be new to Ramsey, so give a little bit of grace for that. But you have to try to understand. And so, yes, and one thing that a lot of people make the mistake of is they think you're supposed to be doing all 7 baby steps at the same time, which is dumb as crap to me. In my mind, and this is actually not how it works, but in my mind, if I look at any list, I'm going step 1, do that, and then check mark, and only then do you move to step 2. And while you're saving the $1,000, you do still stay current. Staying current is part of baby step 0. You do stay current on bills. So you're paying the minimum payments on everything else in step 2, and you're sending all extra money to the lowest debt, because you use the debt snowball, which is the smallest debt, is what you pay off first. So you put all extra money and the minimum payment to that first debt on the snowball, the lowest one. And then step 3, why would you be saving $1,000 and saving 3 to 6 months of expenses at the same time? See, that's when it's just dumb when people think that. And how are you supposed to be able to save 3 to 6 months of expenses? Just forget about step 1 right now. How are you supposed to be able to save 3 to 6 months of expenses and pay off all debt, all non-mortgage debt? In step 2, and then also invest 15% of gross income into retirement? You cannot do that. If you are a dumbass like that, and you think you're supposed to do that, you might eventually get through all the baby steps, but it's going to take you way longer to do it that way because it's dumb. And so I don't understand why anybody would think like that. If I'm not accurately tracking my money, well, that should be something you would have wanted to do even before you found out about Mr. Ramsey. The first sense you got that your finances weren't as good as they are, maybe you think, oh, maybe I should track my money. Maybe I should pull up the old bank account on the old internet there and see all of my expenses and see what dumb crap I'm spending money on that I can stop spending money on. Let's see. In every dollar, it suggests to not record internal transfers between your own accounts. You're not supposed to. Why would you be transferring money between accounts? Left pocket to right pocket. Why would you be doing that? See, you are making things harder on yourself by doing your dumb crap, by the way your brain thinks about stuff, apparently. Well, if my paycheck goes in my checking account and gets split into different savings account, hey, guess what? You are in luck, my friend. I'm about to make it so easy for you. Let's go back to the baby steps. It says save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund, right? Right? And so then you'll be on, after you do that, you'll be on step 2 and pay off all debt except for the house using the debt snowball, right? Right? And step 1 is save $1,000. Step 2 is paying off debt. It doesn't say, oh, and also move money from one account, from your checking account to 2 different savings accounts. You're dumb as crap. Yeah, like I said, new people I'll give a little bit of grace to, but this person's mind is just nutty the way it works. Then bills come out of different savings accounts. That's dumb as crap too. I mean, you can do stuff and have as many different accounts as you want to, as long as it keeps you to your budget. If that's the idea, where you have to have it split out like that so you don't freaking spend it, sure. Knock yourself out. But that's dumb. That's a waste of a step. You're so stupid. And I can't record which money is in which account. How will I know if I have the money in the correct account and at the right time to pay a particular bill? In real life, it's not just left pocket versus right pocket. There are ramifications. No, there's not. You're just being dumb about it. Again, you're overthinking about it. I mean, I'm an overthinker myself, but this guy is nutty. There are ramifications for reaching into the wrong pocket first. No, all your money is the same. All your money is the same. The only savings you should have until you get to baby step 3 is the $1,000 starter emergency fund. And you do not add to that. You put all of your money no matter how many accounts it's in, you put all of your extra money beyond necessary expenses, not just dumb crap you want to buy. You put all of that money into paying off your debt. So you're doing it wrong. Maybe troll, don't know. But there didn't seem to be trolling in the disability question, but 17 people, hopefully people set him straight. Told him, you're doing it wrong, you're thinking wrong. Thanks for anybody watching right now live, much appreciated, and that may be watching later. Happy Father's Day, by the way. Contribution low, 7113. Well, you want it to be 0 until you are in step 4. That's when you start investing. And the idea is you do one, I forgot to say this earlier, you do steps 1, 2, and 3 in order, one at a time, without even thinking about the higher steps. Stop thinking about them, then you won't try to start doing them too early. And then once step 3 is done, then you do steps 4, 5, and 6 as applicable. Like some people might not have kids and might not have a mortgage yet. So guess what you're doing? You're investing all 15% of gross income into retirement. On step 4, you do not do that. And yes, you forego the match to get your freaking finances in order. Before doing that, if you're already investing right now, before you found Mr. Ramsey and decided to do the baby steps, then you stop the freaking investing temporarily while you get steps 1, 2, and 3 done. Stop being dumb. And of course, you don't have to do the Ramsey advice. Most people won't do it because the math does not work for it. It's because finances are behavior. It's a behavior problem, not a financial problem. I mean, not a math problem. Need some tough love advice. And of course, Dave always likes to say, it's not tough love, it's love for telling you the truth about things. What would Dave do? Asked right here. So generally, that's going to be follow his advice that you could Google and do the baby steps, which unless you're like this person, then they're easily understood. So you don't do everything all at the same time. Anyway, what would Dave do? 39 man, divorced, 2 kids, bought a house last year. The day after closing, I ended up in the hospital for a week with meningitis. That's not fun, I bet. Never had it. I was out of work 2 months, but disability wasn't enough to cover my daycare and groceries, let alone mortgage and child support. I'm feeling overwhelmed since day one. I can sell my house, take the cash, pay off all my debts, about $27K and $15K left in the bank. Okay, was looking to rent for a year and just get my stability, both mentally and financially. Yeah, especially if you bought too much house. Like for example, if you can barely afford it, the payment, and also you did a 30-year, you bought too much house, so you need to be selling that anyway. But it just depends on the numbers involved. Like for example, if you can't rent a cheaper place than you're getting a mortgage for now, then that would come into play. But generally the idea to rent, especially after some kind of traumatic event, like, and it doesn't have to be life and death, but it certainly, divorce not fun. It certainly, does take a toll on you. It's not just like nothing happened. Have my kids week on and week off. I could lift a DoorDash when I don't have them. Yep. But I already take on call every week. I don't have them and I'm getting burned out. Well, that's tough crap. If you need money, you got to work. That's the whole thing about the baby steps. Step 0, part of step 0 should be get a freaking job if you don't have one, or get a second job if you need to. If you want them, and if you want to even make faster progress, if you want to be done with steps 1, 2, and 3 the fastest, that is the way to do it, with more income. None of this stuff happens without income. Look at that. Look at step 1, save $1,000. Restart emergency fund. That takes money. Let's see if the rest of them take money. Step 2, pay off all debt. You can accept the house using the debt snowball. That takes money too. Save 3 to 6 months of expenses and fully funded emergency fund. That takes money too. Invest 15% of your gross household income into retirement. Hey, guess what? That takes money too. Save for kids' college if that's applicable. That takes money too. Pay off your house early. That takes money too. And build wealth and give. And you do that with money that you make. So all of these don't happen without income. There's no magic thing to do if you don't have a job, and you're one of the unfortunate people that are stuck at home on, government assistance. And then, rather than if they work part-time, then it disqualifies or lower their assistance amount. That's the dumbest crap I heard of. That's creating an entitlement way of thinking. So that would not be the way to go. So yeah, how about you just work your butt off the week you don't have your kids? How about that? And so try to look for more things that you can do as you choose to, like Lyft or DoorDash. And of course, taking more overtime at work. More overtime at work would be your current job. That would be but you getting burned out, that's tough crap. You need money. And so it just depends on how much debt. Oh, if you sell the house. So if you sell the house, that will fix the immediate problem. Because that'll pay off your debt and you'll have $15K left. Okay, so that's your $1,000 emergency fund. Your $1,000 emergency fund, and then selling the house will pay off all your debt, and then you'll have probably most of your 3 to 6 months emergency fund. You'll have that too. And so then you can start investing. But 39, you're not a spring chicken. You still have 25 years left in the market. So investing is your deal, dog. And at some point you can try to save money to get another house. But again, as far as selling the house is not a definite. It is the easiest way to pay off your debt and get almost your full emergency fund immediately. But you don't necessarily have to do that. It just depends. Like I said, like most people, they're like, oh, well, it'll give me more wiggle room if I get a 30-year mortgage, but I'll pay it off in a 15. And they don't do that. No, they do vacations and stuff instead. So that's why you need to get a 15-year mortgage. And so if you got a 30 so you can afford it, guess what? Your house poor is too much. Zoodum Sood. Okay. C and a Z together. Interesting. Okay. What next after home purchase? That would be paying off the house early. Let's see. Just bought my first home at 6.8% interest rate. That's up there. And I now only have a 3-month emergency fund, dude. Okay, let's consult the baby steps again, shall we? Step 3, save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. And hey, if you sometime want to use some of this money as part of your down payment, you can do that. It does not say that on there. You are not supposed to do that. And anybody getting a mortgage, I suggest they have the full 6 months, because guess what happens with houses? They need things fixed on them. And you can no longer call your landlord. You're the person that has to fix it. Builder, after I have my 6 months, should I focus on paying down the house or upping my 401k back to 15%? 15%. It is for step 4, 5, and 6. You do them all at the same time if applicable. Whichever ones are applicable, and definitely don't know if you have kids, but you are investing and you do want to pay off the home early. And so you would do whatever applies to you. So the 15% comes first, and then anything else you would do that. And a lot of people ask, well, I can put it in the market and it'll make more than my mortgage rate. So wouldn't that be better? Mathematically, yes. Behaviorally, no. And there's no risk button on the calculator. So that's why Dave Ramsey has to tell you the right thing to do. And in this case, you don't invest more than 15% into retirement. You do 15% for retirement, and anything extra you have, your snowball amount, as it were, that you were previously applying to debt and the emergency fund, you would apply that to the 15% for retirement, and then you would send anything extra to pay off the home early. So, see, it is very simple, but you probably, some people might need somebody to explain them to them one time, because somehow in their mind, they can't think that way by themselves. After my 6 months, should I focus on paying down the house or opening? Yeah, why would you ask that? You see the baby steps. Again, unless you think you're supposed to do all of them at the same time. And granted, 4, 5, and 6 are all at the same time, but it's still in this priority order. So you are doing the 15%. And then if kid college is applicable, you address that as well. If they're small kids, young kids, it can be a lower amount. And then anything extra would go to the house. You would not stop or do less than 15% and put more on the house. That's a no, 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 no. And also, you don't pay extra, you don't invest extra and only pay the minimum on the house. That's your debt leveraging your house by doing that. So in order to have that extra investment. So that's a no as well. So you see how this question, as so many of them are answered by the baby steps. It's just people, and see, you got the problem too, because people are nutty the way they think sometimes, but also what they want to do comes into play, and they interpret it so that it says to do the way things the way they want to do. Are the words that I was looking for. All right. This is from Exotic Criticism 4645. Almost said it wrong. Did say it right that time. I'm bringing sexy back. Baby step 7. Congratulations. Just put an eagle on my paid for home. I've had a paid for house for a while now, but I recently learned about this older tradition of putting an eagle on it to celebrate freedom. Okay. Need to bring this back. The 3 best things I've done in order to accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. Baptized in water. Better than fire for sure. And I paid off my home. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for the chances to do all 3. This eagle thing needs to make a comeback as a way to witness to others the grace of the Lord if you follow his way of managing his money. Alrighty, no real comments on that. That's fine. That's just a comment, not a question. Let's do another question. Okay, _dare 5350. Started off with 178K in student loans. How am I doing? Let's find out. It's a longer one, so we'll go ahead and open up the entire thing. Became a chiropractor in 2019. Took out 178K at 6% in federal loan. Not advised by Mr. Ramsey. We build businesses at the speed of cash. We do not take out loans for that. He's the no debt guy. Did you know that? Did you know he's the no debt guy? That means no debt. That means you don't take out any debt. The only exception, a mortgage for a residence a house that you live in. So no house hiking, no rental properties on a mortgage, no bullcrap like that. So didn't pay off any loans during Pandy of a lot of career uncertainty and job hopping. That doesn't sound like you should have taken out those loans, dog. Oh, that's not a freaking I thought it's student loans. They're student loans. It's not a business loan. My fault. But still, it's the same thing. You don't do that for school either. Because guess what? Some people don't graduate. And then it's wasted money. If you save up for it and then do it, that's still sad, but not as sad as you owing the money to somebody else. Didn't have any type of retirement investments till my early 30s. Currently make $85K at my main job. As a 4% 401k match. I have another job that puts me at 110, 115 a year. Working 7 days a week. I currently have 8.5K. Am I right there, right? Contributing $550 each month. 401k has 1.5K. When did you pay off the student loans? That's what I'm waiting to hear about. And maxing it out. Contributing 2.5K each month to my student loans. You're doing it wrong. Currently my loans are at 105K. No other debt mortgage. I know I'm at a disadvantage with high student loans and no early investing, but I'm doing as much as I can right now paying off debts. No, you're not. Oh, does it say, but am I? No, you're not, obviously, because you're investing. And so again, let's go to the baby steps. A lot of going to the baby steps today. Student loans would qualify as baby step 2, right? And there should be a line right here, a dark black line across this right here between steps 1, 2, and 3. And then after step 3 as well. So there should be dark lines there. If you are up here, you do not do step 4 at the same time. And why can't people understand that? Like I said, by default, I would think you do one step and finish that one before you go to the next one. But even that's not right, because steps 4, 5, and 6, you do all at the same time in that priority order. But it's better to do them one at a time than to do it dumb like this person is doing. You're supposed to pay off your debt ASAP, not freaking be investing at the same time, because you know what that is? That is debt leverage. And Mr. Ramsey's a no debt leverage type of guy. Don't know if you've heard of him before. Am I doing as much as I can right now paying off the debts? No, you're not. You know what you should do the baby steps right. That's another one of the songs in that playlist. And for everybody so far, plenty of people doing it wrong. Let's have the original.
You're doing it wrong.
And why not? Let's have George.
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Alrighty. I was so thrilled when he said that. That's like not something he says a lot. I wouldn't say he stole it from me. Obviously, I stole it from Mr. Mom. And so of course that's not proper English either. It would be you're doing it incorrectly, or you're not doing it correctly. You're doing it wrong is wrong, especially since that lady was at the school, the parking attendant at the school. Anyway, external self 1337, and that of course if you turn that upside down, 1337 spells leap. Oh, the kids came up with that one many, many moons ago. I was already old by the time they did that. 15% to retirement is only a guideline. False. That is the number. That's why it says a number instead of being, well, if you want to do a little bit more to that or a little bit less than that, you can't. Nope. That's why it says 15. See, a lot of people think that if they start saving 15% of that retirement at age 40, they're doing everything right. They are. And should start paying on their mortgage. They should. But you need to figure out what you actually need to retire on in time. No, you do not do that, because guess what else? Guess what else helps in retirement? Just as much as that retirement money. Guess. Having a paid off house. You're dumb. This is a financial bro. This is financial bro here. Right, Dave says straight out, it's not a magic number. That's what the amount is. And so that's what you should do. Now, once you get to step 7, you can invest whatever you want, but the house does have to be paid off. D&D Master is falling apart financially and physically. Need guidance. Maybe a little less D&D. What would Dave do? Flair. I'm going to try and we don't try and do things. We try to do things. People are dumb. Hashtag 3rd grade. Try to keep this concise. Too late. It's too late already. Look at all that. Right now, see, you make it longer by even saying you trying to keep it concise. Right now, I'm in a tough spot and could really use some advice here to navigate my way back on the baby steps path. Well, if you're not following the baby steps, or if you're doing it wrong, you should start following them correctly, is the short answer. But let's see if we can dive in to see what the issue is. 32 years old, in a relation, currently unemployed, and have been for about a month. Baby step 0, get a freaking job. Because again, guess how many of these steps you can do without making money? I don't see any of these steps that you can do without making money. I see none. Okay, so part of baby step 0 is getting a job, and of course doing a budget, a bunch of other things as well. Left my previous job in car sales where I was barely making ends meet. And so you see, what you do is you keep barely making ends meet before and get another job before you quit the barely making ends meet one. You're so dumb, sir or madam. Doesn't say. I have about 5 years of IT help desk experience, and you haven't gotten a job in about a month. But the economy is trash, especially the tech industry, with low-level roles being saturated. Yep, AI replaced or outsourced to overseas, right? Or they all want more experience than you have. Yeah, that does happen. Get a job anyway. Quit being dumb. I'm sitting on a growing pile of debt. Yeah, because you're being dumb, you quit your job before you had another one. Mostly credit cards and student loan. I'm virtually broke right now. To make things worse, I've been dealing with chronic L5 S1 disc injury. That doesn't sound fun at all. That causes me nerve pain and limits physical activity. Happened roughly 2 years ago, and it's taken a toll on me. Apparently, you were still able to sell some cars, though. On top of that, I have ADHD. Who doesn't at this point? Which makes it hard to stay consistent or build habits. Motivation and focus are very fleeting. I've been listening to Dave for a bit now, and I'm just completely lost. How are you lost? He tells you exactly what to do. You just don't want to get a job. You have to work to make that happen. I'm sorry you have the injury, but you need to embrace the reality of, you said you want to make your way back on the baby step path. That is what you said. That does not happen without you getting a job. Maybe you can get a job that allows you to sit down. Okay? I want to take over control of my life, but I'm seriously overwhelmed. And if you are, you might need some counseling. If you really are. If you just are trying to find a way to make it work without getting a job, that does not exist. And so, people use this, I'm overwhelmed, or their work situation is toxic just because they don't like one little thing. They call it toxic. And so, that's dumb. It could be a situation where the gentleman or lady actually needs therapy, and if so, you would seek that out. If you have to get that taken care of before and that's not free either, so you would have to find some kind of gift program or something like that where they would help you. You can check with your free clinic in your city. But yeah, being on here and writing, I'm overwhelmed, that doesn't help anything. I mean, maybe some people gave him some other advice like that, and maybe better than I did. But yeah, but the pile of debt, the baby steps in general, the Ramsey advice in general, none of that happens unless you get a job. And so plenty of time to fix it, but you need to get a job. So look harder. And you're overwhelmed because you're sitting at home all day and just thinking about this stuff. That's probably, you think about it too much. So you get to work, maybe you'll think about it a little less. Shoepin1, are you happy to complete it? To have completed, maybe? Baby step 6? Yes, sort of. I mean, I didn't really complete it. My ex-wife and I were able to sell the house before we got divorced. And so that way we didn't have any debt. It was, well, I mean, I think we owed something ridiculous like $200, so we had to pay $200. This was at a bad time, obviously, where the house didn't appreciate as much as the interest rate was, I guess. And so yeah, we owed about $200. I can't remember if it was like $200 or $200 each, something like that, but it was that still allowed us to get rid of that. And we had, before that even, we had paid off all non-mortgage debt. And so we were able to divorce without having to split any debt at all. And that made it, of course, that much easier. Husband and I make the most money we likely ever will right now due to me owning a currently thriving small business that I will likely downsize or sell in 5-6 years. That's your decision to do that. You could keep working in it. Thus, I want to be smart with our current earnings. I finally convinced husband to pay off the house. Great. You will pay off the house. You will follow the Ramsey advice. That'd be great if that would work. If we apply a recent windfall and then make a sizable additional monthly payments, we could have it paid. Oh, okay. Didn't do it yet. I thought they would have done that already. Okay. We could have it paid off 5-6 years from now. Yeah, do that. Do it faster than that. This would mean we have likely downsize or sell in 5 to 6 years. Is that why you're waiting for the magic mortgage to be done? Maybe you don't retire once the house. Maybe you don't get to retire in 6 years. We would be in our upper 40s. You keep working. Quit being dumb. This would mean we have a 30-year mortgage paid off in 8 years. Fabulous. Shouldn't have got the 30 in the first place. Upper 40s. You're doing great to have step 6 done in upper 40s. You're going to be better than probably 5% of the world, or at least Americans anyway. Once it's paid off, our monthly expenses would be cut by 35%. So yeah, too much house already. Even if that's the mortgage payment. So yeah, that's why Dave tells you to. So you bought too much house. You got the 30-year mortgage, so you could have the wiggle room and be dumb. But at least if you pay it off in 8 years, that's great. What a relief for those who completed Baby 6. Are you happy you did so? It's a little scary taking the dive when you're contradictory. Well, they're dumb. Do they have 30 years experience? Do they have millions of documented success stories following their advice like Mr. Ramsey does? I'm going to guess negative, ghostwriter. The pattern is full. Contradictory advice to invest. Yeah, if you do that, instead of paying off the house, if you invest that extra money, other than the 15%, you are doing it wrong. You are debt leveraging, and Mr. Ramsey is the no debt leverage guy, in addition to be the no debt guy. Timing on track with Roth 401k and a sizable pension, so we really don't need more investments. Thank you. Yes, pay out the freaking house. Follow proven advice. It doesn't matter what freaking financial bros say. Thirsty. Warm. Did that one? Yeah, and when you complete step 6, that's great, because then the only thing else you have to do, of course, you invest forever. That never stops. That one goes on forever, ever, ever, unless you're in step 1, 2, or 3. Then it goes away for the time that you're in step 1, 2, or 3. But once you get step 6 done, guess what? Build wealth and give. You can invest all the money you want to. Baby step 4 is investing 15% of gross or net income. Quick question. When calculating the 15% of income invested for retirement, is it calculated as pre-tax income, aka gross, or take-home, aka net? Personally, this would change the target from $10,080 to around $14,000. Yes, that would be gross. And the reason is because, or the way I remember it, is that Dave wants you to have more in retirement and be less house poor, to have less of a house. So the amount of house payment, what the mortgage payment should be 25% of your take-home pay. And the investing should be 15. And so a lot of people have a problem doing 15. You know why? Because they have 35+ % of their income going to their house, because what do? They bought too much house, and they probably got a 30-year against the advice as well. You have to get that 25% mortgage payment of your take-home pay on a 15, and because it's not 30 years, that makes the payment go up. So you cannot live and follow the Ramsey advice. You cannot live in a high cost of living area without making high cost of living money, unless you do the hack for that, which is you save for a heck of a long time and put a ton of money down on it. That brings the mortgage down to get your payment to the 25% of net income. All right, fit ad 6951, 22-year-old looking for advice. Let's see what we got for the 22-year-old. I was 22 once. It was long ago. 22 years old, working at a brokerage firm, making about $3,000 a month. I have no degrees, debt, $3,000 in cash savings, $8,000 in various investment accounts. You would not do various investment accounts. You would do 15% of gross income into a retirement account. 401k, your brokerage probably offers one that they run, probably. I pay $9.50 a month in rent to my parents. Hello, 22. Might want to be an adult and move out on your own. That's what Mr. Ramsey would suggest. Oh, that ends in July. Okay. I don't enjoy what I'm doing. Well, and I don't know what I would do to get out of it. Okay. So like one of the previous questions. So what you don't do is you just quit your job and go home to mommy and daddy's house where you live, where you're paying rent, and not being an adult and just whine and be overwhelmed by the situation. You don't do that. Start looking for a different job if you don't like that job. Until then, you do it for the freaking money. Some people like money. As I say, in the movie, what was it? Strange Brew. 80s, old, very old. You need money to live or you'll starve. Yeah. Although you could probably live with mommy and daddy for a little while and they would feed you. Again, not advised. It's advised to be an adult, move out on your own. I like to increase my income and get out of my current job. $3,000 a month. I don't know. Maybe you ought to be able to do a job for a while, at least for a while. Because you get the $3,000 a month. How about that? How about we be happy with that? And that doesn't stop you from looking for a different job. But then guess what? You might not like that one either. So, anyway, where were we? I don't know what I would do to get out of it. You find a different job. Similar to almost every single person, I'd like to increase my income. Oh God, I know I can't do that at this time, but I'm just looking for some advice on what to do. Start looking for another job. You see videos of people doing stuff like vending machines or owning self-serve car wash. Yeah, you need money to do that. You don't have that money, and there's no business loans happening. Starting a service company. You don't know how to do anything. Do you know how to do any services? If so, knock yourself out. You build it at the speed of cash. Some of these things just seem a little out of my scope of knowledge. What about your price range? Especially the owning a car wash or business. And I was... Thought I saw a spider. I didn't. And I was just wondering about how you would go about trying to maximize your income and putting yourself in the position to get the experience to be able to start your own business or feel confident that you can make money yourself. Well, you got to find something to do that in first. And you probably got to work for somebody else while you get experience doing that type of job. See, there's no magic button that puts you in that situation already without doing it. People are nutty. My current plans are to keep doing this job, stack money, and look at financial ventures. What are some recommendations of the thing I should be doing? I have no idea, which is the same as you. You have no idea what you want to do, or I'm guessing you don't, or you would have already looked for a job in that, knowing that you would have to learn how to do it before you open that business, doing that stuff. Alrighty, so there will be a Ramsey Show after show 11:07 a.m. tomorrow. That would be what, Monday, June 16th. And that is after the 9 a.m. showing of the Ramsey Show on the YouTube. And when Ramsey Show is over, 11:07, that's when I'll start. And these are the questions we'll be doing there. When you say I'm paying cash and the dealer looks at you like you just confessed to being Batman, I'm Batman. Rebalancing my Roth IRA. Okay. In general, Mr. Ramsey called my pal Sid when she called. Told her you maybe have to rebalance your accounts. Maybe you do that 3 times in your lifetime. So it's not going to be often. Like you don't do it every year so you have the same percentage in every category. Small, mid, large cap, and international. And of course the ones that Dave himself says is growth and income, aggressive growth, and international, of course. But they're more commonly referred to as the cap numbers. His numbers, his phrasing is probably from 30 years ago, I'm guessing, and he never changed. Jay's work from home site probably meant website. Referring a work from home site, I don't know. Said you could log in and work whenever you had a free time. There's a bunch of them like that, but yeah, I don't know exactly which one. Maybe tomorrow we'll check out the comments and see if anybody could come up with it, or we'll look at some that they have come up with in the comment. High yield savings account or SGov. I don't even know what SGov is. So maybe we'll Google that tomorrow. I'll do it ahead of time. I won't remember, so I'm lying to you. But we'll just Google SGov and see what exactly that is. But that's probably going to be no, because it looks like, oh my goodness, it has gov in there. It probably means government. And is there something you're going to do with the government that's going to make you more money than the high yield savings account? Maybe. We'll find out tomorrow. And 60K in student loans, 25K in savings. Should I throw it all at the dead? And why are you asking? Again, Step 1 does not say save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund. And if you want to, go ahead and save up another $24,000 instead of putting it to debt. It does not say that. Why would you possibly think that would be the thing to do? All right, but we'll read the little justification station on that tomorrow. And let's give so we got new dates for my streams coming up here. It's not just the same old. Same old plugs. New version of the plugs here. And these are in the ticker below and also in the video description. Let's check them out. You can schedule a free financial coaching consultation by emailing me. And that's coachstevemoney@gmail.com. And as it says here, my schedule changes to, oh my goodness gracious me, that needs another O there. Too much to use a website. And so the email again, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. If you are having money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track. Donations, go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney, which is right there. Alternatively, the Cash App at $coachstevemoney. A Walmart gift card, again, to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, the Ramsey show after show at 11:07 a.m. Eastern Time. And that would be this Monday. That's tomorrow, June 16th. Wednesday, June 18th. And Friday, June 20th. Answering your financial questions stream, so that I do end up doing 5 weekday streams. That will happen at 8 p.m. Obviously, I'm working in the morning. I'll be home by 8 p.m. and be able to do streams on Tuesday and Thursday, June 17th and 19th. Alrighty, and again, if you, any of the several people could have used this where it says baby steps 1, 2, 3 in order, one at a time, and as you can see, that's in capital letters. No doing higher steps early. Baby steps 4, 5, and 6 in order, all 3 at the same time, but still in that priority order, as I said, and I am horrified that I forgot the extra O on 2 for too many. How dare I? Anyway, I will fix that right now. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And thank you so much. If you've already done those things, much appreciated. Again, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.